In this video, I'm gonna talk about how to make real money starting and running a handyman business. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Claudio, owner of WinRate Consulting and host of the Big Stud Podcast. I assume you've subscribed already because I've been yelling at you for the last 4 videos. So if you haven't, shame on you. Subscribe. Please put that in there. I'm gonna talk about how to make real money as a handyman. So I'm gonna tell you a little story here, right? So a lot of people, especially people like working like, let's say corporate America or anything, they say if you made $75 an hour, you're rich, right? Let me walk you through that as a handyman. I think there's still handymen out there that like are afraid to charge $75 or $95 or even $125 an hour. Let me tell you why you have to. Let me tell you how you end up turning that into a real business, creates real money. So you think you're cool. I'm gonna charge $75 an hour. I'm gonna be rich, right? $75 an hour is what you get paid for revenue generating activity, right? You're actually in a customer's home. To do 150 grand a year at $75 an hour labor, you have to work 40 hours a week in people's homes. That doesn't account for drive time, sales time, business time, invoicing, material ordering, potentially employee management, any of those things, which means you have to be working 40 hours a week. And let's just say you do. Let's say you are a grinder. You're working 7 days a week and you're getting all your shit done. Mike, I'm making 150 grand. Let me tell you why you're not. Doesn't account for tools, gas, vehicle expense, marketing, potentially employees. Doesn't account for taxes. Doesn't account for insurance. Doesn't count for any of those things. So if you're charging $75 an hour and you're working 40 hours a week of actual revenue generating on the clock hours, you might, and I mean might, walk away with like 60 grand. A good year, maybe. And you're working 100 hours a week to take home $60,000. That might be a lot of money to you. And if it is, I'm happy for you. If that's what you want in your life, great. I'm not gonna judge you, but I wouldn't be happy with that in a week. Right now in my life. And I'm not suggesting that I'm special, but like everybody has different requirements in their life and their lifestyle. Ryan, we were talking about earlier, I like spending money, which means I gotta be all of this is my shit. I like spending money. This is my warehouse. I like spending money. But like, not everybody's like that, right? So you have to figure out your lifestyle and what you want. But ultimately, if you want to make real money, and you can define real money however you want, I'm sure there's no one out there defining real money as $60,000. So what do? How do you make real money as a handyman? Well, first you gotta charge the right amount. You have to truly understand what your value is, whether the people that you work for believe you or not, or trust you or not, or believe it's worth it or not. Because here's the reality. Yeah, $150 an hour is more than some doctors make. Cool. Doctors are still really good employees, in case you didn't know that. They're still just employees. They work for somebody else. I promise you, hospitals are charging more than $150 an hour for that doctor's time. Even though that doctor might be making 300 grand a year or 500 grand a year, I promise you the hospital's charging more than that. They're just really high paid employees. You have to understand that. So how much do you want to make? What are your expenses? What are your overhead costs on a monthly basis? How many hours can you actually work on a job site in a given week and still sell and still market and still run your business? It's probably not 40, it's probably closer to 25. And then you're putting 15 hours, maybe 20 hours into running the business. And then some people are like, well, there's just no time to work because I'm too busy working. What? That's the truth though. There's 2 sides of the business. There's the technician side and then there's the owner side. Well, I'm gonna challenge you right now to transition to the owner side. Well, Mike, how do I do that? Well, first you gotta find subs. I think you have to find other skilled employees that work for other people. A painter, a tile guy, a flooring guy, a siding guy, a roofing guy, and you have to utilize those resources and assets so you can go sell and you're not the only one there to do the work. I would highly suggest starting with subs. Yes, you have less control of their time, you have a little bit less control of their quality potentially, but you're likely not in a position where you have enough work coming in to keep a full-time employee busy. And still be able to pay yourself. So start with subs, start offloading some things. Sell some roofing repair, you get your roofer to look at it, you mark it up, 40%, 45%, 50%. If they come out and say, hey, this is a repair, it's gonna cost $1,200, you're probably gonna charge the client $2,000. Probably still pretty fair because that client can't do that fucking project anyway. That is a real business. Like that's how businesses run. You might say, Mike, that's taking advantage of people. Well, then you've never ran a profitable business because that's what it takes. You have to be at 40 to 50% gross profit in order to have enough money to pay all the bills and pay all the taxes and pay all the people and pay yourself. That's how it works. So if you get a quote for a repair for $1,200, you should be charging the client $2,000. You're managing, you're communicating, you're making sure the client's happy, you're invoicing, you're doing all that stuff, the business stuff, the CEO stuff, the leadership stuff, but you're not actually doing the repair, which means you can have 2, 3, 4, 5 different repairs happening at the same time, and you're not on any of those projects full time for that whole day. You might be dropping in throughout the day to check on your people, check on your subs, check on the people that are there, but you don't have to physically be there, tools in hand, throughout the whole day. Second would be if you start to get to the point where you get enough leads coming in because you've been doing a good job, you got a good reputation, you got good referrals, then you start hiring people. There are plenty of people out there that are just not built to be business owners, and that is okay. There's nothing wrong with them. We need employees. There are significantly more employees in this country than there are business owners. There's a reason for that. Not everybody's built for it. So if you're willing to go through the struggle, you're willing to go through the battle, you're willing to go through the process of developing and building a business, there are people that are going to want to work for you. You got to be upstanding. You got to have good core values. You got to be able to communicate professionally. You got to be able to stay consistent. You got to be reliable. You have to be professional. You have to have integrity. Those are all like kind of prerequisites to being a business owner. So if you don't have those things, let's start there. But if you're a consistent, good person, have integrity, tell the truth, do what you say you're going to do, people are going to want to work for you. So don't be afraid to put it out there. Tell people you're hiring. Tell people you're growing. Tell people you're looking to hire your first employee. There's a lot more people out there that are watching than you might realize. Oh, by the way, 90% of my viewers don't subscribe to the channel. That's how I know more people are watching than engage with me. Literally, 80 to 90% of you people, you watching right now, 80 to 90% of you do not subscribe to my channel, but I'm getting 80 to 90% of my viewership on non-subscribe, which means they're not actually engaging with me. They're just engaging in the content. They're just taking from me, and they're going off making millions of dollars. That's what happens to you guys, right? All of them, all you people, millions. But the same thing for you. There's a lot more people watching than you might realize. So I'd highly suggest putting it out there. You're growing. Maybe you want to train somebody. Maybe you want to go to a trade school and hire somebody who just graduated. Maybe you want to go find somebody who's running a business right now as a technician, isn't doing a very good job growing. They just want to go work. Or maybe they're a little bit older and they want to like retire, but they still want to work with their hands. Those are great people to bring in as your first couple employees. Again, they can be on job sites working alone, making you money, or they can be working with you. Having a second set of hands on a job make it work significantly faster, and you can still charge the same amount or more, get it done faster. That's value to everybody. You start making real money. Ultimately, you have to decide that you're willing to go through the struggles of growing. You got to decide that you want to make real money. You got to decide that you're going to figure it out. If you're somebody who's making a little bit of money right now and you want to get some help with that, we do coaching. That's what WinRate Consulting does. Like I run a coaching company for contractors. I have coaches on my team. We've helped hundreds of contractors across the country solve these problems so that they can grow and build a business that makes them money, not just a really busy, somewhat potentially lucrative job. So if that's what you want, reach out. If you want to do it on your own, great. Keep watching these videos. There's a ton of them here. But understand, for you to make real money, you have got to transition out of the technician hourly rate mindset. You got to get into how do I leverage assets and resources to get more projects done so I can make more money. I want you to make real money. I want you to win fast and win often.